Hello, we are going to talk about Ignite announcements. And one of the announcements about Azure Stack HCI is the cloud-based deployment. And I have Manfred with me. Manfred, what is cloud-based deployment in a nutshell?
Yeah, cloud-based deployment is the new way how to deploy Azure Stack HCI in the version 23H2. It's the mandatory way, and it changed the behavior of the workflow. In the
Mhm.
past, in Azure Stack HCI 2020 H2, we had the situation that we locally deployed the operating system, then we created a cluster, and the last step was to register this cluster in Azure for monitoring, for billing, for whatever we want to use in the hybrid area. With Azure Stack HCI 23H2, this changes in this way that we first install the operating system in integrated systems and Premier solutions. The operating system is also already pre-installed on the nodes.
Mhm.
Then the first step is to register these nodes in Azure, and then the deployment starts within the Azure portal. So we already do the deployment in the Azure portal via a wizard that is provided there. The wizard looks from the optical perspective very similar to what we had before in the Windows Admin Center locally, but now it's done cloud-based, and this is possible because the nodes are already registered in the Azure portal.
Okay, that's interesting because in the Azure Stack HCI show some month ago, we talked about a kind of repositioning of Azure Stack HCI, that it is initially meant for HCI in the data centers, but now we are saying, okay, the strategy is going more into the edge. So for example, retail manufacturing. So we are talking about hundreds and thousands of sites where we have single, dual or nodes or three node clusters. And yeah, now I think it's much easier to install and to deploy these hundreds of sites more or less automated. Isn't it like that?
Absolutely, because if you are familiar with Azure a little bit, we have different capabilities to automate things there and work with templates. So Azure usually works with the Azure Resource Manager model, and we can use this ARM, so Azure Resource Manager templates, to predefine configurations and reuse them. And as you mentioned, for sure, we can still deploy single servers or a single node Azure Stack HCI is possible, or a small cluster. But now it's very easy to deploy dozens or hundreds of them because we can use these ARM templates and use some variables for maybe different locations and deploy them from the central Azure portal. This is very interesting for this retail scenarios you mentioned, but it could also be interesting for a Microsoft partner that uses Lighthouse, because Lighthouse is a technology where I can use the capabilities of Azure to manage several customers. And if my partner scenario is that I'm managing hundreds of customers, where each customer only has a few or only one of these Azure Stack HCI clusters, I could also use the capabilities of the Azure portal via Azure Lighthouse, which is for free for usage. So we don't have additional costs if we use Lighthouse.
Okay, so yesterday I watched Cosmos Darwin's demo where he demonstrated this, and I will post a link to this video in the YouTube notes. So it looks really, really simple. You have tried this, I guess, as a Microsoft MVP. You're super curious about all those new things. Is it really that simple as of today, or is there a lot of additional things to do before you can do this kind of deployment as shown in the video?
So today in Azure Stack 23H2, we have a preview. So we have November 2023 today. So it's a preview. The announcement was that it will be launched as a GA product beginning of next year. So this is an official Microsoft Ignite notes. And today we have to do several steps manually. I assume they will be optimized in this preview phase till the product is available. The interesting thing is these steps can be automated. So if I deploy one cluster, I have these additional steps you mentioned, and I have some manual work. I have to prepare my Active Directory. But if I deploy hundreds of these clusters in the preview today, I will use an automated script. So yes, there are some additional steps. They are documented in learn.microsoft.com. They are already published. And it works very well if you have an latest supported hardware for this configuration. Yeah.
Well, this sounds very interesting. I'm looking forward to see some demos. So in the Azure Stack HCI show on our YouTube channel, we will go more into the details. So looking forward to that. So I think in future it will be much easier to add additional sites, to add additional nodes into a cluster, or to replace something. Very similar to what we experienced with Windows Client in the past. So I remember at the beginning it was very time consuming to switch your personal device. And now it looks like it will be much more automated in future. And this is where the journey should go to. Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, absolutely. There's an interesting note in the docs actually that says today you in the preview you can add new nodes via PowerShell. And this seems to me like also how you mentioned it, this process will be optimized in the future, that new nodes will be added somehow automatically optimized in our environment. Yeah.
So see you in another session, and bye-bye. Thank you, Manfred.
Bye.